And it's going to be such an insightful session. We will be sharing about manifestation, about astrology. So if you didn't get the email that I just sent out about like 10, 15 minutes ago, make sure that you have a notebook, a pen, and if you haven't gotten your free career astrology report from yoursaturn.com, make sure to get that as well. I'll pop it into the chat, yoursaturn.com. This will be helpful, but if you can't get to it during the session, don't worry. It's still going to be very informative, and you can always look at it after the workshop. So to get everyone understanding what we'll be doing for the next 90 minutes, Emily and I will first share our stories. We think that's extremely important so you understand all the highs and lows that we have gone through and what has worked, what hasn't worked. And I feel like this workshop is coming at such a poignant, powerful moment for myself. And I'll let Emily to speak like her experience as well. But I feel like after like feeling lost for so many years and honestly feeling lost for years and years, I feel like I haven't quite gotten my footing after coming back to the United States because I worked in Asia for many years. I came back around like 7 years ago, just kind of like went through my Saturn return, just kind of like feeling things out, like a bit unsure. And I feel like this year I am really finding my groove, my momentum, and all the different things that I have tried, that I have taught, that have worked, that haven't worked. I really feel like I have such great insights in sharing of like, oh, like when I saw this in my astrology, or when I was working on scripting or another manifestation technique, like why didn't it work? And so, this workshop's very special. If you've come to my astrology workshop before, we are going above and beyond just sharing information because we have Emily here today. And we will both talk about like what's really worked and why we might have some blocks. And I think this session is going to be so special because Emily will kind of will share, how to clear energy, how to get into the right headspace, and kind of releasing some of the stagnant energy that may have caused you from not getting what you want. So, Emily, you want to share a little bit more before we kind of do our intros or like our
Yeah.
stories?
Yeah. Thanks, Alice. So yeah, just to touch up on what Alice was saying, I was also in my Saturn return a few years ago when I had hit a breaking point where I was so lost, so much focusing on what other people were telling me to do and what career path they were choosing for me. So I went through so many different career paths from the time I was 18 up until about, I would say, 3 years ago when I found mindset and manifestation coaching. I had been in manifestation or into manifestation for 10 years. And I just didn't see it as a career opportunity. I just saw it as something that was a hobby, a passion, something I was interested in learning about. But I was always trying to find my thing and I couldn't find it for so long. I kept thinking, oh, I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about that. And so it was a lot of clearing emotional blockages that were stopping me from being able to accept that, hey, I'm actually really good at speaking on, mindset, on belief systems, on emotions, and everything that I was going through in my life. All the career paths that I had chosen led me to this because I had to go through so many limiting beliefs with each and every career path that I was in. I had to go through figuring out why I was feeling so icky and unaligned. And it really led me to this work where I was realizing, oh my gosh, there's so many of us who go through these challenges, not just in our careers, but in our lives in general. But mainly, we learn so much about ourselves through our career paths, no matter what career path you choose. So that's kind of where I landed. And now I feel so much more in alignment with what I'm doing than ever before. And I was doing things that I thought I was really passionate about at the time. And then something was like, it was almost like resistance was happening. And I was like, why is this resistance happening so much consistently? Oh, I realized that that wasn't me following my purpose. And then I actually met Alice a few months ago, and she was kind of reiterating to me exactly like why I was meant to go through this path. And it all made sense. I was like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what happened for me. And it all just really clicked. And it made sense why I struggled for so long to find my path, and now I'm in it and I'm so grateful. And so that's kind of why Alice and I came together. We were like, we want to help you figure out what your life's path, your career path is, because we're all so stuck in what other people want for us or what society expects of us, rather than following our intuition, our true authentic selves. And we're going to teach you about that today. So we're really excited.
Yeah, so I would love to have you pop into the chat and share, like, where are you in your career journey and in terms of manifestation as well? Like, what are some of the tough parts that you've been dealing with? And I want you to share it. You can either DM one of us or share with the group, whatever you feel comfortable with, so that, we have a really nice, small, intimate group here. So ask your questions. And I think the more honest you're with yourself, the more you'll be able to get out of this session as well. So would love to know where you're joining from, what challenges you're facing, where you are in your career right now. And as you type these things in, I invite Emily to share more of her story, like all the jobs you've had. And like,
Yeah.
remember when she told me about how she was in acting? I'm like, this is why your videos are so good. So as you share your story, I will respond to people in the chat.
Amazing. Yes. Please make sure to respond in the chat, because the more we get access to what you're going through right now, the more we're able to help you. And again, it's about being honest, about being clear, about being, truthful about where you're at, because that's what I had to do when I was in my beginning stages of coming into this career now. But yeah, I was in acting for on and off for many years, where I was like, people are telling me I'm so good at acting, I should continue with this. And then I would go into music management. And then I went into what my dad was doing, which was, he is a loan officer. And so I was working under him for a few years, being like, okay, he makes good money, I should just do what he does. He wants to leave his legacy to me. So I was literally in this mindset of just following what other people wanted for me. I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust that I could find my own purpose. I thought, okay, it's just easier for people to tell me what my purpose is. And that was where the struggle was. When you listen to other people, you're never really truly like fully feeling confident in yourself. And I lacked a lot of confidence because I was constantly listening to what other people wanted for me. So that's really what this is about. It's about you now coming into, okay, what do I want? What do I want for myself? And realizing that there is actually deep down within you, even if you say you don't know what it is, we're going to help you get clear and know and take it out of you, right, from your soul, what it is that you actually deep down want for yourself. Because again, that's what's going to make you happy. Everything else, what you're going to do for other, when other people tell you to say or do for your career, that's never, ever going to make you satisfied or fulfilled. You've got to go for what feels good to you. And that is why, if you're feeling resistance right now, if you're not knowing what your path is, that's because there's something within you. Maybe your higher self is telling you, hey, you're having these resistant emotions for a reason, because this isn't the path for you anymore. And that's okay, because we go through many paths in our lives. It doesn't have to be the same thing all the time. So that's where I'm like in this place now where I'm so excited for people to understand their purpose. And Alice is one of the most knowledgeable people when it comes to career. And she really helps you. Seriously, like, you're so good at it. And you really helped me like be like, oh yeah, this is where the next step is going to, like, within my career. I'm like branching out now to things that you've confirmed for me, which is to be more in the like traveling more, broadening my horizons, being more living outside of my comfort zone, which is something that was what I was experiencing for the first 30 years of my life, was comfort zone, comfort zone, comfort zone. And now I'm branching out because of Alice. So you guys are going to learn your purpose and learn what is going to work for you through this. So I'm excited for you guys.
Oh my God, Emily, that was so kind. That was so nice of you.
It's true.
Oh, thank you. So a little bit more about my story. So I think it's really important for me to share that I'm first generation Chinese American. My parents are immigrants. And although they never pushed me to be a doctor or a lawyer, I felt an immense need to achieve and to make sure that their sacrifices resulted in something. And I found it to be very difficult to understand what I really desired, what I really wanted, and what was very practical and what made sense. I call it the case of the shoulds. So I went to school and I studied communications. I studied communications because it was a practical application of writing, and to some extent, like history and liberal arts. Because honestly, like I think in another life, I would have just studied probably like archaeology or history, like ancient civilizations, because those are the things like I really, really love. But it's like archaeologists. I'm like, what will I do as an archaeologist? What will I do as a history major? And so I was like, okay, like I like writing. I really like liberal arts focused things. And so, okay, I think communications, journalism, this is going to be a good fit. So I studied PR and East Asian studies. I went and worked in Shanghai for many years, actually, where my parents and where my family is from. I had a really good job on paper, but it just didn't feel right. It looked good, but it didn't feel right. And I think many of you probably resonate with that as well. And one of the hardest things for me during my Saturn return, which is a huge pivotal moment in your mid to late 20s, mid to late 50s, mid to late 80s, was just a strong existential crisis of like, is this what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life? And I had so many questions, and no one could give me the answers. I was looking for it externally, and I began to understand and see kind of what my path forward looked like after I incorporated yoga, mindfulness, meditation, and astrology. I really find that astrology is one of those powerful tools that allows you to deeply understand and see, accept yourself. And through that process, you can better understand what's going to light you up in terms of a job, a company that you want to start, or something that combines all of the above. We're moving into a multi-hyphenate like phase and period, I think probably moving forward forever, where we're not just having one job, we're having many different jobs. And honestly, this is something that is usually kept at like celebrity or super wealthy like levels, but really starting to be something that everyone can do, multiple different income streams, so that we can really understand how to bring out different sides of us and to create more abundance and wealth for ourselves as well. So I have done the corporate job. I worked at a PR agency. I had an existential crisis. I came back, became a full-time entrepreneur for the last 7 years. And it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of doubting myself. And I think that if you are considering entrepreneurship or you've been dabbling in it, I think I wish I knew this when I started 7 years ago. And I think more people are talking about it. And I feel a strong pull to talk about it more is just the number of times you want to quit is crazy. I have wanted to quit so many times. And something that I read from my friend's Instagram post, Nikki Novo, she was like, am I actually, no, not my friend Nikki, but my friend Wendy. She is also in the spiritual space. She's a witch, a bruja curandera, and she says, you know, I want to quit all the time. And she's found so much success in her first year of business, like hit six figures immediately, has a huge community that is global, not just in the US. And she's like, you know, I feel like I want to quit so often, but I ask myself, do I want to quit because I am tired or I don't want to do this anymore? And oftentimes it is because one is tired. And when she said that, I was just like, it's something I felt already, and understanding like, okay, I want to quit. I probably just need more help. I probably just need to rest. And when you kind of, instead of pushing it away, the difficult parts, the parts of you that question, because it's very normal to have doubts, to feel like, oh, am I actually doing something that like matters? And then I asked myself, I'm like, am I tired, or do I just like, do I not want to do this? And the answer is always like, no, I really love doing this. I just need to believe in myself more. And I need to be doing things smarter, and not working harder. So I've gone through the ups and downs. This is the third business that I've started, and I've had to do so much identity work. Really having a business is a big part of healing. It really pushes you to heal. And without astrology, for myself, that I use it for myself and for my business, I feel like it would have taken me a lot longer to trust myself and to create my website, because my astrology really said that, hey, like this will be a good way to make money. And I was like, I don't know, it's a lot of money out, but not money in initially. But really, it has proven itself to be true. And I know Emily will be speaking about intuition as well. Intuition is a big part of just finding the path forward. So I want to check in with Emily. Do you have anything that you want to share before I start my astrology portion?
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the whole healing, right? Like it's very important that you recognize that we are always healing, especially within our careers. And something that, like, there are moments where, yeah, you're going to want to quit, but it's really diving in and understanding, okay, wait, what's coming up for me now? What belief systems are coming up with for me that aren't serving me? Because oftentimes we have certain emotions like fear or anxiety, right, that come in when we're trying to live out our purpose, or we're trying to make money or serve people, right? We want to do the best that we can. And so we want to learn what belief systems, what programs aren't serving you, and healing those programs while you're working towards your career. Oftentimes people think, oh, I need to be fully healed before I get into and step into a career. That is false. You are actually learning more about yourself and growing and healing in the process of your business. And I think that whatever you decide to go towards, or whatever works for you, and you're like, this is in alignment with me, trust that that is your path, and that is your path of healing. So we're going to show you exactly how to do that and heal these programs today with your higher self, with your intuition present while you're healing.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Emily. So, before I get started on the astrology portion, we'll do a quick grounding meditation. I know we're coming from many different places and spaces, and so want us to be very present in the place that we are in, this digital room. So, we'll do the grounding meditation. I will share career astrology with you, some insights into what types of jobs and businesses are going to be really ones that really light you up and help you feel very fulfilled. And then, Emily, after you've gotten a bit more clarity around what might your different career paths or business paths may look like, we'll talk to you about intuition, about really making sure your nervous system is prepared to receive, and different manifestation techniques that will help you feel more open and expansive, shifting into the energy and frequency that you need to be in to welcome all the different things that you want into your life. How does that sound? Good? Awesome. So, wherever you are, I want you to find a comfortable seated position. Sit nice and tall here. Begin to roll your shoulders back a few times, then forward. Then, one more time, up and down the back. Really press your shoulders away from the ears. And start to just tune into how you are feeling this afternoon, this morning, this evening, whenever you are listening to this session. Notice the quality of your breath, your mood, your mindset. And I invite you to imagine roots growing from your sit bones through your feet down into the earth, providing beautiful grounding energy. This next hour is just for you. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing to think about. So, with each exhale, I invite you to release all of the things that came before this session and all the things that you need to do after this session. Allow yourself to become a blank slate. And we will open up the session with 3 cleansing breaths. So as you empty the breath out, take a deep breath in through the nose, audible exhale out through the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose, audible exhale out through the mouth. And another deep breath in through the nose, holding at the top. Audible exhale out through the mouth. Placing the left hand at the center of the chest, right hand on top of left, I invite you to tap into heart energy, tap into gratitude. Take a moment to set an intention. Allow this intention to organically find you, organically enter your consciousness. Allow yourself to be curious and open during our session. May the messages that you need to hear come through clearly for you today. Empty the breath out. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Audible exhale out through the mouth. And just enjoy a few more moments of stillness here. Noticing anything that comes up for you. Noticing any shifts and changes. Really feeling an openness in the mind, in the body, and in the spirit. And when you feel ready, gently open your eyes, coming back to the present moment and the present space. All right, everyone, let's get started. Career Astrology 101, how to manifest your dream career. We did the grounding meditation. We already did my story, so we are already ahead. So what is career astrology? I feel like everyone is a little bit familiar with astrology. And really, astrology is a tool to help you understand yourself better. It is not something that tells the future. Nothing is set in stone. You have free will. It's merely a tool to help you better understand yourself and all of the different possibilities and opportunities that are available to you. I like to view astrology through the lens of career because I find that so many of us identify our identity with our career. And so it's so important that we are clear on who we are so that we can pursue something and spend most of our waking hours doing something that really lights us up, because who we spend our time with, what we spend our time doing really affects who we are, how we think, how we live, and the type of person that we become. And everybody has a birth chart, and this birth chart is the exact placements of planets at the time of your birth. And with these exact placements, they give you some insights into challenges, opportunities, your talents, your gifts, when you are most likely to make a career change, how to make money, the types of businesses to start, and really the ideal career for you, lessons you're meant to be learning this lifetime, just really so many different wonderful resources. And I will be sharing kind of like a basic astrology 101, so just so we have an understanding. And I'll go through your sun, moon, and rising, which is your astrological triad, and then talking about the North Node. The North Node is something that has really, really helped me to understand my purpose and my path forward. And you will get the opportunity to also understand, okay, if my North Node is in Aries, what does that mean? I have a couple different slides that will help you kind of get more insights into that. Okay, so that we're all on the same page, I know sometimes I've done these presentations and people get super confused, like, well, my sun is in Pisces. Like, are you talking about like the North Node? Is that like my sun sign? So I want us to just know, when you're looking at a horoscope, you were looking at your sun sign. We pretty much know all of our sun signs because it's based off of like when we're born. My birthday is July 27th, so I am a bit of an early Leo. And that's really my identity, who I am. So thinking about your sun sign, and if you've grabbed your free career astrology report at yoursaturn.com, you will see your sun placement, your moon, your rising, and many other things as well. And that first paragraph talks to who you are. And your moon sign is really about your inner world, your emotions, your inner child, how you process things, and what you really need to feel nurtured and seen and kind of feel okay. And my moon is in Capricorn. So what that means is, for better or for worse, I really need to feel like I'm in a good place in my career to feel okay inside, to not feel like my emotions are all over the place, because Capricorn is a sign of career. And so what I've come to realize is with this placement, and with like all Earth placements, of Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, it's really about your mindset, because you can always shift to kind of like the goal, of like, when will I feel good about my career? When will I feel good about X, Y, and Z? So I take a lot of time to celebrate my wins, small and big, and to put less pressure on myself to kind of achieve, because all Earth signs are very achievement focused. Now, your rising sign is how you view the world and how other people see you. And again, my rising sign is in Capricorn. So I have a strong perspective of career. I'm always talking about work. I'm always talking about business. This is something that really is fun for me. I love talking to people about their business ideas and how to find like a job, or to start a business that really aligns with who they are. And also, this is how people see you. So when people first meet me, they're like, wait, you're an astrologer? You don't really seem like an astrologer. You seem like someone who's like an engineer or like a consultant. And I'm like, these are all true things. But my North Node is in a placement that is very, very spiritual. So to wrap things up, I didn't mention about my sun in Leo. Leos are very showy at times. They love to empower others. They're very creative. They need a stage, they need a platform to share what they want to share. And I definitely have found this to be true in terms of tapping into my creativity. And know that you can have a friend who also has the same placement, whether it's a sun, moon, and rising, but it manifests itself in different ways because of their specific birthday and also other elements of their chart as well. So we are all different, and other parts of your birth chart come into play as well. But I wanted us to have this general foundational understanding of astrology with your astrological triad that kind of make up who you are: your sun, moon, and rising. Your sun is your identity, your personality, the ego. Moon is the inner world, how you process your emotions, your inner child as well. Rising is how you view the world and how other people see you. Okay, so to get to the North Node, the North Node is all about life lessons. It's about your destiny. It's what you're meant to be learning in this lifetime. And for many, it's going to affect the type of job that you pursue, as well as the type of business you might start. Now, not everyone is going to have a business or a career that specifically focuses on the characteristics and the embodiment of the sign, but it does mean that these are some of the lessons that you will be learning internally. So when it's more focused internally, you're learning these lessons and kind of changing your identity and personality. These are kind of like challenging personal and professional growth moments. And that's internal facing. If it's external facing, it's going to be something that you directly work in day to day as a job. Now, what is your South Node? Your North Node and your South Node are always going to be opposites of one another. And that's one of the reasons why connecting with your North Node can be very challenging. So South Node is about past lives, karma, mastered skills. And if you find yourself in jobs that are unfulfilling, but you're really good at, you get paid good money for, you are probably going for jobs that are in your South Node or kind of reflect the characteristics and the flavor of your South Node. Okay, so as an example, my North Node is in Pisces, my South Node is in Virgo. So what I'm meant to be learning in this lifetime, and also some inspiration about career paths and businesses to start, will really be the characteristics of Pisces. Pisces is very intuitive, very psychic, Very creative is the most artistic and musical of the signs. Very feminine, very dreamy. And these are very uncomfortable things for myself because what I'm familiar with, my South Node is in Virgo, very grounded in the earth, in the material world, focused on the details, very perfectionist oriented, detail oriented, loves systems and structures, very rigid at times. And what is being required of me is to be less rigid, to be more flowy, to be more trusting, and to focus less on the facts and more on the feeling. So moving away from, oh, this is logical, this is practical, to, okay, how does it feel for me? Does this feel good? And let me tell you, it has definitely been challenging. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about your placement. So if you haven't gotten to yoursaturn.com, I invite you to go there, get your specific North Node placement. You'll find that this is also available in a lot of astrology apps as well. Not all of them have your North Node, but most of them do. Definitely like the websites will. Sometimes the apps won't cover it. And so a lot of times they won't cover the South Node. It's always the opposite. So I want you to look at your North Node. Like, let's say your North Node is in Aries. That means your South Node is in Libra. And the opposite is true as well. If your North Node is in Libra, your South Node is in Aries. So kind of take a look at this list so that you can figure out what is your North Node and what is your South Node. Okay, we have a question. Let me see. Caitlin, I also have Pisces, North Node, and South Node in Virgo. I knew there was going to be someone with my placement. Yes, it is. It can be very challenging, very detail oriented, very grounded. And now you're kind of just need to be like a magical being, a spiritual person that kind of like trusts the universe. I mean, I pushed it away for so long. And I think by pushing it away, not embracing it, releasing the resistance, it made my Saturn return. It made kind of like these lessons a bit more difficult to learn. But these past few years, I've really, really been leaning into it. So I think that's probably enough time for everybody to figure out their placements. If there's any confusion, don't worry, just pop into the chat. Okay, so we will start with fire signs. So if your North Node is in a fire sign, which is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, that means you are meant to be very creative and kind of very expansive, explosive almost. Aries is a visionary. These placements can be leaders, they can be a CEO, really taking charge and starting their own business. Could be something fitness oriented, military. Those are some of the themes of like jobs and also businesses to start. Leos are very creative. They could be a performer, entertainer, actor, a creative, a creator, a coach. They're very good at empowering others. Sagittarius, they could be a travel influencer. I know this is Emily's placement, a writer, a philosopher, maybe working in higher education, becoming a lecturer, becoming a professor. These are all very possible things. I also like to say that with a Sagittarius North Node, you can also become a poet. Because you have a lot of philosophizing in your characteristics, but also a strong writer as well. So again, fire signs are really meant to be creative. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. These signs are very anchored in the material world. And if your North Node is in an Earth sign, you are meant to be anchoring down your idea and really kind of believing in yourself, relying on yourself. So with Taurus, they have a really, really good sense of design and taste. It could be working in luxury goods. They are very food and beverage focused. So you could be working in nutrition, being a chef. You'd be working in food and beverage, also working in finance as well. Tauruses really value stability and specifically financial stability. Virgos could be operational oriented, virtual assistant, logistics, supply chain, a professional list maker. Also, they could be a professional organizer as well, coming in to create different structures and kind of fixing things. With Capricorn, this is a sign of being the CEO, being an entrepreneur, being a consultant, being an analyst, creating a business. This sign, as well as Aries, really, really likely to start a business. And the focus is on yourself and what you're able to create in this lifetime. So again, earth signs are really anchoring into the material world and creating something that lights them up in one of these categories. My air signs, these signs are really meant to be more cerebral, spending a lot of time in the mind, doing mindset work. If you have a North Node in Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you are part of this air sign family. With Gemini, you could be working in media, PR, advertising, marketing, being a coach, being an influencer. Libras could be a lawyer, a diplomat. They have a strong sense of kind of maintaining the peace. They are very diplomatic in the way that they speak as well. They're always kind of considering everyone else's opinions and feelings, but they're also really good at gathering people together. I also like to say that there is an opportunity for Libras to do something aesthetically focused as well, like Tauruses, like starting a beauty brand, something that is fashion oriented, design oriented. Aquariuses are very innovative. They care about humanitarian issues, about the collective, about the community, very technology focused as well. They could be in engineering, working at a technology company. They're also really good at explaining complex concepts. They'd be really great as teachers as well. With Aquariuses, they're very, very innovative. So it's very important to lean into your unique point of view and your ability to see how things can be better. They're very futurist signs. Okay, our last group of signs are our water signs. So if you have a water sign, so if your North Node is in Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, your big lesson in this lifetime is to tap into your emotion and to develop a stronger connection with your intuition. These are very intuitive and psychic signs. So with Cancer, it's a very nurturing sign, very service oriented. So you may find yourself in a teaching role, being an interior designer, something to do with the home, a therapist, starting, let's say, a nursery, a school, a tutoring business. I find that with a North Node in Cancer, your family is very involved or heavily influences your work. I like to describe it as it's kind of like the Kardashians. Their family has allowed them to become successful because their family is kind of like how their business is built. That dynamic, how they help one another, what you're able to see in their family life and family dynamic as well. With Scorpio, they're very analytical. They're very great at asking questions and kind of gathering a lot of information. And so they can be psychologists, they can be researchers working in finance, an investigator, but also the healing arts as well, a very spiritual sign. These are all very spiritual signs, and all of these signs can be healers. With Pisces, like I said before, it is the most artistic, musical, and psychic of the signs. You may also find yourself kind of world building. So kind of maybe writing a book, creating a new world, like Harry Potter. It could be something in TV, entertainment, a new music genre. So all very, very, very creative as well, just like the fire signs. So again, putting these all on one page, you might want to take a screenshot, take a photo of this so you can have all of this. And so you can start to understand, North Node, where I'm going to, South Node, what I'm comfortable with. And one of the things that you can do, I know many people are kind of in between jobs or trying to figure out their next path forward. You can combine your North Node and your South Node to be able to get kind of like a bridge job to kind of get to where you want to be, like North Node energy, combining a bit of the South Node and the North Node to get to that next step, that next kind of milestone in your career path. Okay, so now I have some journaling exercises. Now is a great time to ask for questions if you want to pop into the chat. Can you relate to your North Node placement? What do you really desire? How would you ideally spend your time 9 to 5? And what are the dreams you're afraid to share with yourself and with others? So it'll take about 5 minutes. Maybe take just one of these questions. And let me know any questions you have in the chat. And if you feel called to share your placement, we would love to know. Like if it resonated with you, if it doesn't resonate with you, I'm happy to answer any questions. Now is also a good time to be journaling around any resistance you might be feeling, any kind of sticky points, any friction of like, I don't know if I could do this, or this feels kind of like very foreign to me, unfamiliar, or oh, I'm really excited about this. This is something that's very affirming because I've already been looking into this. So kind of writing down like your feelings and how you're reacting and integrating this information. So we have a North Node in Sagittarius, a South Node in Gemini. Wonderful. These are Emily's placements as well. Capricorn, North Node have been both a consultant and analyst, zero interest in being a CEO or an entrepreneur. Very fair, but it is very likely if you're taking a job that you will be leading an or like a one vertical, like leading a team, leading I keep on saying like industry, but no, department. South Node Cancer, ironic as I've been having a hard time tapping into my intuitive side in this life. There might be some other placements that kind of are affecting it. One of the placements being your Chiron. If your Chiron is in Cancer or something that's also in a water sign, this can have some resistance. As well as if your moon sign isn't in a water sign, that could also be some resistance as well. Caitlin says Aquarius Sun, Pisces Moon, Sagittarius rising, North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo. I find that have been sitting on and wanting to write a book for as long as I can remember, yet I'm feeling blocked and scared to sit down and actually do it. This is so interesting. Because like the way that you see the world is through travel, is through writing, and like, but also really kind of dreaming things up. Like that's a big part of like your inner world. And it seems like you need to spend more time opening your heart, tapping into your emotions, and kind of just getting a plan in place, maybe see some accountability as well, having a writing buddy, joining like a writing program where you're forced to write every single day, every single week. And I would also invite you to look at your Chiron placement too, to see that if it is in Sagittarius or if it is in Pisces. Ah, this makes a lot of sense. Your Chiron is Gemini in the seventh house. So with a Chiron is the wound. It's a wound and a challenge you feel in your entire life. And with a Chiron in Gemini, you have a very difficult time activating your voice. Gemini and Sagittarius are very similar energies. And to activate your voice will also affect how you kind of activate like your writing as well. So I think the more you're able to voice your opinion, to share your opinion with others, specifically around like your relationships, this is going to help open up so you feel less scared to sit down and do it, because I feel like there might be some judgment. You're like, oh, like I don't know if what I say will be received by others in my life. And this is not like necessarily true. These are all things that are in our mind. And once we start to work through them, we're able to understand like, oh, some of these fears aren't actually real. And it's something that I'll be working on my entire life, just feeling more comfortable with voicing what I feel, what I believe, what I think. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, another one. Northern and Sagittarius, 11th house. My interests resonated with it, but my current job office work feels like my South node in Gemini. Yes, with Sagittarius and Gemini, they are very similar. So there's very subtle shifts. So, yes, like you could be in the right role, but in the wrong industry or in the wrong company. Subsequently, you could be in the right company, the right industry, but in the wrong role. And with a North Node in Sagittarius in the 11th house, you really want to be doing something that helps people, that connects people, working in technology, working with humanitarian issues or an issue that you really care about, working in community, moving to better society. This is going to be very helpful. And the way that you'll be doing it is like you might be traveling a lot, speaking about these things. You could be like lecturing as well, sharing your different perspectives, and kind of looking into Sagittarius and looking into Aquarius energy will help you understand kind of like what combinations of jobs and industries and companies that will be a good fit. All right. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for sharing your placements. If you continue to have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will hand the stage over to Emily.
I was in the middle of journaling, so I was like, because there's so much good stuff here. I hope everyone enjoyed that presentation from Alice, because it is such an amazing tool to have to understand your North Node and South Node. That's actually where I learned it from, was through Alice. So thank you so much, Alice, for that amazing presentation, your wisdom. It's just so, so incredible. So thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and actually share my screen, because we're going to be talking today about manifesting with your higher self and intuition. Now that you know your path based off of your birth chart, it's now up to you to start trusting in yourself, to start healing programs that aren't serving you, because those programs are stopping you from living out your purpose and your truth. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me a moment. There we go. Why is it present and record? There we go. Okay. All right. So when it comes to manifesting with your higher self and intuition, that means tapping in to the true you. This is the you that really can manifest your ideal career, and any other things that you're wanting to manifest in your experience. But in order to do that, like I said, we have certain belief systems, certain programs that we had installed in us from a very young age, specifically from the ages of 0 to 7, where we modeled what was around us from our parents, from our teachers, from society, from the media, especially what we watched as kids. We saw what was being presented to us as, oh, this is my identity. This is what I need to do. And so this is what happens is we end up following what others tell us to do because we are modeling what we saw. And so we need to heal certain programs that are causing you to feel resistance, to feel the emotions that feel uncomfortable and don't feel good when you're working towards your ideal career, your dream career. So we're going to connect with our higher self and our intuition today. So you have this trust that you know, no matter what, even if it feels scary, that you're moving towards the path that feels most authentic to you. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you exactly what your higher self is. If you're kind of confused, you're like, what is the higher self? And I just want to make sure because I know people are going to have questions. So I'm going to put, actually, I'm going to save the chat. So if you have any questions, just put in the chat and I will answer them after. But your higher self is also known as the inner being, your transcendental self, your divine self, or the true soul. So this is the divine part of you. When we came into this world, we actually came before as this divine self. But when we came here to experience life through our human selves, we developed something called an ego, which is where we were around other people. And we started to form this ego based off of wanting to feel validation, wanting to feel accepted, wanting to feel loved. And so the higher self is always there with us, right? It's literally you, but it's you in the form of soul consciousness. It's the healed part of you. The higher self already has full love, full acceptance, and truly knows who you are. So it's very important that you are connecting to this part of you because this part plays a huge part in your inspiration, how you are guided through intuition and being able to learn about yourself and about different experiences through insights that your higher self is always giving to you. So if you've ever felt like your truest, most authentic self, you've shown up in either a workspace or in front of other people feeling really good, that's because you're connected to your higher self. Maybe you did some deep breathing or you went on a really nice vacation where you centered and grounded yourself. That's why it's really important that we take these moments of kind of what Alice was saying about her friend needing that deep rest, because we need that for our nervous systems. Our nervous system needs to be relaxed and connected in order for our higher self to shine through, to come through to us. Again, we are our higher selves, but we have these programs or beliefs that tell us that we aren't. And so we need to connect because, again, the higher self knows your intentions, knows your desires, and knows all of your deepest secrets and desires. And so it's really important that you are regulating your nervous system, getting yourself into a deep, relaxed state so you can connect with that soul consciousness. So we're going to go ahead and I want you to close your eyes because we're going to connect with this higher self through visualization. So go ahead, get really comfortable and close your eyes. Relax your entire body. Relax your facial muscles. Relax your jaw. Let your body be heavy. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold at the top. Exhale out through the mouth. Loud sigh. Take another deep inhale in, inhaling clarity, love, and support, holding it at the top. And when you go to exhale, release anything that's not serving you. Any fear, any doubt, any worry, let it all go. Take another deep inhale in, hold at the top. And when you go to exhale, imagine the word release and let it go. Continuing with this breath, I want you to imagine that your higher self is right in front of you. Your higher self looks exactly like you, only all around your higher self is this golden light, this magical, beautiful, glistening light. And you see your higher self with a really big smile on their face. You feel seen. You feel heard. You feel understood just from this look, just from the presence of your higher self. And now your higher self is walking towards you. This is the higher self who knows you, who knows your desires, who knows your purpose, who knows exactly the path that is meant for you. And your higher self looks at you with so much love and admiration. And you feel this deep sense of trust. And you feel so safe. And now your higher self wants to merge with you, wants to connect with you, as your higher self is always present. And right now you are consciously aware and consciously ready to merge. So your higher self gives you the biggest hug you have ever received. And that light, that golden light gets transferred over to you. The light seeps into your head and your neck and your chest and your shoulders and your arms, your hands, and you feel it in your fingers, these tingling sensations. The light is now expanding throughout your torso area, down to your legs and right down to your feet. And you are now merged with this golden light that is your higher self. And take notice of how your body feels. If there's any tingling sensations, any vibrations, and what emotion is coming up for you, just take notice. And take one last inhale in. And exhale out. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the room. How is that for everybody? I'm just trying to find the chat. Did everybody see their higher self in front of them? I'm curious. Let me know in the chat. Aw, thank you, Alice. I love your meditations too. I'm just curious, is everyone just waking up, is coming back? Oh, Alice, yours had, okay, your higher self had a purple aura. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, sometimes different light comes up. So honor whatever comes to you in your vision. Does anyone else have anything? And merge with the golden aura. I love that. Yes, it is such a beautiful thing when you can really visualize and see your higher self in front of you. Now, did anyone have trouble visualizing your higher self? Anyone? Yes and no. Okay, and you know what? It's going to help a lot when we go into it. We're going to heal some programs that might be stopping you from doing this. But the reason why I wanted us to start with this is because I want you to know that your higher self is present with you here and now. And so I'm going to go ahead and start keep going with the higher self, right? So when it comes to manifesting with your higher self, knowing that your higher self is present with you, I want you to recognize that life is a mirror to what you experience internally. We feel, behave, and make choices based off of our beliefs, which is really what we experience internally. And these programs, which are our belief systems, run automatically in our subconscious mind. And everything in your life is a match to you. The thoughts that you think, the feelings that you have, and the actions that you take. So even everything in your life that you don't like, you also created or were an energetic match to either consciously or unconsciously. And so even right now, if you're feeling resistance and you're feeling like, I don't like my job, I don't like this, it's now starting to consciously heal within you. Okay, what in me needs to be healed from this certain program? And how can I move forward into a career that feels aligned with me? And it's really important that as you are stepping into a new career path, that you really connect with your higher self, that you start recognizing that you are your higher self, whether you are, still healing programs, because we're always healing. I'm still healing programs all the time. And as you evolve and as you change and as you go into the next evolution of your career, there's going to be new programs that come up or even old programs that come up that you must learn to heal from within. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. And then let's talk about intuition before we get into it. So, in case you don't know what intuition means, your higher self sends messages through your intuition. So, it's these little nudges that tell you that you should do something or not do something. And your intuition is that sense of knowing what the right answer or decision is before you make it. So, it's a deep, internal, visceral feeling. It's this just like, yes, this is a total yes in my body feeling. And you can also get an intuitive feeling like, this doesn't feel in alignment with me. And that is why being intentional about healing your own belief system and programming and connecting with your higher self will allow you to know the difference between your intuition and overthinking or fear, right? Which stops us in our tracks from going after what we want and being an energetic match to what you desire consciously. It's very important that you understand what programs are coming up, because then you can really properly be in alignment and connect with your higher self and your intuition. So first, how to tap into both. So we talked about preparing and regulating the nervous system. That is something that we kind of did just now with the breathing and connecting you to your higher self. This allows you to get into that deep, deep level of mind. We want to be in this relaxed state often because we prepare ourselves to go in with more clarity, whether it is through a job opportunity or even just in general showing up in your life. We want to be in this deep, relaxed state more and more. And we also want to consciously heal these programs, the things that are stopping us from going after what we want. And we also want to follow the path of our joy. So if you're feeling like there is something that isn't feeling good to you, it's probably because you're not following your joy. You're not following what lights you up. So it always feels good when you either write down or you consciously recognize what brings you joy. And that really helps you also to align with your career path, especially after Alice showed you what career path to go on based off of your North Node. Okay, how can you bring joy into that? How can you find it to be so, so enticing and so desirable that you just want to do it, right? Because everything else that might be stopping you could be that fear, it could be that resistance, could be that anxiety. And so we want to focus on the joy, want to focus on what will make you feel fulfilled and happy. And then also being really connected with your body and doing intuitive movement. I always recommend doing intuitive dance to really get yourself in your body to connect with that higher self. And then, of course, journaling out your emotions and your thoughts and understanding what's happening within you so you can release it and let it go. And we're going to do something that's kind of a journaling exercise to heal your programs. So this is an example of healing and consciously healing your program. So this is an example so you understand. This is a person that is really struggling to show up on social media for their business. They have a business idea, but they are like, oh, it's really difficult. I have a hard time. I'm unable to show up consistently. So that's the person's current circumstance. So there's a path of blame here, right? This person might be blaming other people, right? Okay, well, others' judgments and opinions, what will they think of me? Maybe they're thinking to themselves, oh, well, there's other people who are doing it better than I am, right? I'm just starting out. How could I be doing it, right? So there's this path of blame that happens. And that's what creates the path of cycle repeating, right? So when this person is going into social media, they're watching other people's content, they're waiting to feel ready to post, but never ready. So this is when we need to understand, okay, if something is creating resistance, what is the path of responsibility? We need to take responsibility for these programs to be like, okay, these programs that were installed in me, they're not working for me, especially if this is the career path that I want to be on. I must understand what in me needs to be healed and what in me keeps creating the same experience that I do not want. So that's when we need to understand our belief system. We need to understand the emotion that is caused by the belief and the action that is caused by the emotion. So the belief here for this person is, I was bullied as a kid. I'm afraid of being seen. I believe that if I post consistently, it will just give more opportunity for people to judge me. And I'm just afraid that I'm going to feel like I'm not good enough. And this is why most people don't start the business or go onto the career path that they want, is because they have this fear of their identity being not aligned or matched up with what they want. And so this is the belief here that is causing the emotion of fear. So fear is what's stopping this person from not posting, procrastinating, saying they're going to do something and then never doing it. And the result is the business doesn't make money. And that's why when you're going into a business or you're going into a career path, it's really important that you understand, okay, what in me needs to be healed, so you understand, okay, the result here is really coming from the belief system, from the programs. So this is an example of someone who, like, let's say they changed their belief system, right? They worked actively on, okay, what's the new circumstance I want to experience? Well, I post consistently on social media, right? That's what the desire is. So the new belief is, I am good enough, whether I post or not. I trust that my higher self is with me along the way, and I am worthy of being seen and stepping into my purpose. And so the emotion there that is really influenced by that belief is connection, confidence. So the action or behavior, because of that feeling being fueled by the connection and confidence, is posting more often, is experiencing positive comments from others, realizing, oh, it was just fear that was stopping me. And so the result is manifesting the business and the income that this person wants. So we're going to do this together today to see what programs are stopping you from feeling into the career path that you want, or even feeling this sense of your own identity, right? Wanting to see yourself in a certain way when it comes to your career path. We want to consciously heal that. So I'm going to put my chat in case you guys have any questions. So for the consciously healing exercise right here, I want you to write down your current circumstance. So this current circumstance could be an experience that you're having at work. It could be, you not feeling inspired, or you feeling, stuck in your career path, whatever it is. I want you to write down the current circumstance. And then I want you to write down the path of blame. So you can do this in your journal and write down current circumstance, the path of blame, and the path of cycle that's repeating. So maybe the cycle that's repeating is, I'm experiencing the same, the same experiences in my job that I don't like, right? So really taking time to understand. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to write this down. And then we also want to understand the path of responsibility, right? We want to know what in you needs to be healed and what in you keeps creating the same experience. So go ahead and first finish those three of the current circumstance, the path of blame, and the path of the cycle repeating. So you understand what's going on currently. We're being conscious, we're being aware And if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat if anything feels confusing or you're having trouble understanding the path of blame or the cycle repeating. We're really workshopping today, guys. We are uncovering these beliefs that are no longer serving us. Because again, that's what manifesting is letting go of belief systems that are stopping the flow of what you want to experience in your life.
Emily, I have a question.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you could go back to the other example so I could just see,
Which one? This one?
not this one, the other one, the original one, like the one we're doing. Yeah, so I can kind of see the example.
Yes, of course. Go ahead. So yeah, so this is this is what this person is experiencing. So the current circumstances, I'm unable to show up consistently on social media. The path of blame is other people's judgments. So ask yourself, for you, what is it that you're seeing in your life that isn't serving you? And what's the cycle that's repeating? Because this is all about a path, right? We're on a path right now to healing, and we're healing through our career paths. This is how we understand ourselves and learn about ourselves more. And so now, if you're ready, you can go ahead and write down the belief system, right? The emotion and the action that is happening and the result. And so I'm curious, is anything coming up for anyone when you're doing this? I'm going to try to when you're doing this, is there anything coming up for you that is like, ooh, an aha moment where you're like, oh, I didn't realize this belief was in me or that this emotion was in me? So you don't know the path of blame. Can I ask you what the current circumstance is that you're experiencing right now? Whether it's your career path, something that you believe or feel about yourself, what is the current circumstance? Maybe I can help you with the path of blame. And again, path of blame could be like blaming yourself for being where you are, blaming, your past, right? Like a lot of people will be like, well, because so and so did this to me, that's why I'm in this path right now. Because we oftentimes blame others for our current circumstances, or we can blame, our parents. We could blame our teachers. We can blame people at our job for making us feel a certain way. It's really important to understand that when we blame, we give other people, or we give, whatever the path of blame is, we give that power. And when we do that, we feel like our power is being taken away, when really we're just giving our power away. And we don't want to do that. We want to know and believe that our power is within us to change these programs, to change these belief systems, so you can manifest the experiences that you want, especially when it comes to your career path. I hope that makes sense. Every time I pick something for my business, it's exciting for a bit and then fizzles out, and I tend to stop working towards it. It just feels like I don't know what is mine. Like it doesn't click. Okay. So I'm curious, is that you're blaming yourself for not feeling the passion that you want to feel? Are you blaming, maybe has anyone made you feel like, maybe like clients or someone that you feel like, oh man, like I'm not getting the clients that I want? What's making it feel like it fizzles out, that you might be blaming it on? Or when you say, I feel like I don't know what is mine, is it that you're comparing yourself to others? Right? And that's a big one for a lot of people, is we blame the comparison, right? Well, this other person is doing it better than me, or this other person is, it's already so many people have done this. Like, what, how could this just be mine and something that I, should be doing when so many other people are doing it? So taking notice of what that internal dialogue is in your head. And if you don't know what the path of blame is, you don't have to write it down. We just want to know really the cycle. But once it comes to you, maybe like in another, maybe a few days from now, it'll come to you where you're like, oh, this is what I've been blaming it on, right? Or you can even say blaming it on the fact that, there's this pattern that keeps happening. It's the cycle that's repeating of it keeps fizzling out, right? It's more important that we understand the cycle that's being repeated and the belief system, the emotion, the actions or behaviors that are happening and the result that you're getting, because that's what's creating the cycle being repeated. So if everyone has anxiety in my heart, scared of actually acknowledging what I want to do, kind of feels like an identity. Okay, so you can go ahead and you can say the path of blame is I'm currently experiencing an identity crisis. And then what's the cycle repeating? Well, it's that I'm experiencing the fizzling out. So there's a belief system there that's causing this anxiety in your heart, right? Maybe the belief, and I'm curious, what is the belief? Could it be that you believe like you will never know exactly what your purpose is or what is meant for you? Maybe that's the internal dialogue happening within your mind, because we have to understand what is this internal dialogue, because this is not what's serving you in the path that is meant for you. So because we've got 10 more minutes, I'm going to go ahead and continue on, but I just want to make sure hopefully everyone has written something down. And again, it's really just about you understanding what is currently happening, what's the cycle happening, and we're going to heal this today. So like I said, with the example of the conscious healing, we want to write the new circumstance that you want to experience instead. Now we're focusing on moving away from the cycle and the pattern that keeps getting repeated to what you want to experience. So thinking about the opposite, right? Like let's say the current circumstance is, like I said before, is I'm not posting consistently on social media. Well, what's the opposite? The new circumstance, which is I post consistently on social media, right? The new belief, and write down the new belief that you need to have in order to have this new circumstance in your life. What do you need to believe about yourself? What do you need to believe about the path that you're on? Right? Write all the beliefs down that you need to have that is going to really help you to consciously heal this part of you so you can see yourself in a new light, especially when it comes to your career. And then when you think about those beliefs and those set of beliefs, how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel excited, passionate, confident, connected, loved? Write down that emotion. And then with the action or the behavior, what would happen as a result of feeling that way? Write down what different actions or behaviors would happen if you told yourself and had a new narrative, new program in your mind that was on repeat consistently. Where again, what we focus on, we get more of. So we want to focus on this new circumstance, seeing this new belief come into fruition so you can have new emotions and new actions or behaviors. Maybe it's going towards the new career path that you've been wanting to try, but you've been too scared to do. Now you need to have a new belief system that's going to serve you in going after that career path. So the result is what exactly? Manifesting the business and the income that you want. So I'm curious, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes, but write this down. And I'm curious if you can write in the chat what came up for you. What new result would you experience from a new belief or a new circumstance? What would you experience if you believed something different about yourself or your career? Creating even more momentum and opportunities. Yes. And there has to be a belief that influences that, right? Because you have to believe in that momentum that you're creating the opportunities, right? What else is coming up? What circumstance do you want to experience now, especially when it comes to your career? And I know that this feels like, whoa, this is a lot. But the reason why we're doing this is because this is the formula to healing your programs, to healing the belief systems that aren't serving the version of you, the higher self you that fully listens to their intuition, that goes after what they want. This is really about healing what's in here that is stopping you from going and creating the momentum or more opportunities to create that path, to create that purpose. So if everybody is still wrapping up, go ahead and wrap up and we're going to move on. We're moving to this. So this is now about trusting your higher self. Remember, your higher self is the healed consciousness. So your higher self is already healed and wants you to learn from your own healing. And the more that you trust your higher self and embody your higher self's beliefs, right? Your higher self has so much love for you, believes in you so much, has these emotions that are so strong for who you are. And we want to embody that too, because that is the true you. And the more you do this, the more you'll be able to live out the career path that you want. So fear has no power where faith, trust, and love exists. So to trust your higher self, you must trust yourself. Trust in what, even if there's anxiety or fear coming up for you, asking yourself, what is it that's going to fulfill me? What is it that's going to make me feel and embody my truest self? And connecting to that self, trusting that there is a reason why you're currently at an anxious point or feeling fear. There's something going on that once you recognize what that is, you'll be able to move forward and focus on what it is that you do want. It's now about changing your direction to like the cycle that's repeating over and over again, breaking that cycle and going and moving towards what you want. So here's some journal prompts for you. How can you trust yourself more? And what does your higher self want for you to experience in your career? And when connecting with your higher self, what opportunities will you attract? What emotions would you like to feel when manifesting your dream career with your higher self? So how can you trust yourself more? Maybe taking more action. Maybe it's going, and even if something feels scary that you really want for yourself, going after it and doing it anyway. And thinking about your higher self wants you to experience ultimate fulfillment and happiness and your truth and your purpose. Write down, what does your higher self really want for you? Maybe your higher self wants you to learn the truth of who you are. Your higher self might want you to serve more people, to change the collective of the world, because your higher self knows that this is your path. And when connecting with your higher self, what opportunities will you attract? Think about what experiences might come into your life that you want, especially thinking about what Alice said about the North Node. You know, if you are, moving into the traveler or philosopher, what opportunities will you attract in that North Node? Will you attract more travel? Will you attract more, writing workshops or experiences, right? What will that be? And what emotions are you going to feel? Are you going to feel, excitement, passion, love, right? Even if fear is there, letting yourself go back into those emotions and being like, okay, what's going to get me to feel into that excitement? I'm going to follow my joy. I'm going to do something that lights me up right now. And when we get into those high vibration emotions more and more, we start to see our higher selves more and more. And even if you're in that lower frequency, or like you're in a uncomfortable emotion state, just letting yourself sit with those emotions and asking yourself, okay, what in me needs to be healed right now? What's the belief that's causing this emotion? Because there's always a belief or a thought that will cause the emotion that you're experiencing. Yes. So the North Node is totally, I can totally see that, is a connection to your higher self, because that is, you're working towards your higher self. You're now moving into the direction of your purpose and your truth. So go ahead, make sure you've gotten your answers down. And then we're quickly going to do a little technique, a manifestation technique. Sorry, guys, a lot of writing. It's because writing is a really, really amazing tool. And we're going to do a scripting technique together. So scripting manifestation is a technique used to manifest your goals by writing about the time after you've successfully reached your goal. So you write your goals like they have already been attained. Not only do they feel more accessible, but you can also discover new insights into how to manifest your goals. So this is really about getting into that state of already attracting and being in your career path that is aligned with you. So thinking about what you truly want for yourself in your career path, writing down as if you're already in that career path, even if you're not in it right now, and writing down how it feels to be in this career path, having the clients that you want, or having worked with the brands or the companies or whatever it is that you want, writing it down. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So it has to be written in the present tense. So we're almost like future pacing it as if you are experiencing it right now. So you would say, it is now. Let's say, you want to manifest this in 2024. So let's say by January 2024, you want to be in this new career path. So you would say, it is now January 2024. And I'm so happy and grateful that I have this amazing career. I'm experiencing so many great opportunities where people are coming up to me and, telling me that they want to work with me, right? I'm experiencing this and that, and using emotionally charged words like, I feel so happy, so grateful. Opportunities are flowing to me. I trust in so much more. I'm so happy to be here, right? Is using those emotionally charged words. And you want to include items that are currently in your environment right now. Because when you do that, right, like including your favorite sweater or your favorite mug or something that you see in your environment pretty often, your brain starts to realize, oh, this is real. This feels real, because you're bringing in items or things that, even people in your environment, that bring that sense of clarity to you, that, oh, this feels really real in my body right now. And you want to include the 5 senses. So what you see, hear, feel, smell, taste. When you bring in all of your senses, you start to feel into the experience more. And that's what I do in my coaching, is I help people to really gain clarity and to paint and be so descriptive of what they want to experience, because when you do, you get really, really clear and you feel it in your body. The most important thing is that you're feeling the emotions and that you're not feeling the sense of lack, because instead you feel the sense of trust that this is actually happening for you, that you're going to be experiencing this career path that feels aligned to you because you have this full trust in it. And you know that when you fuel yourself with these emotions and these new belief systems, you're going to take the actions to get yourself to that career path, to experiencing the success in that career path. So again, like I said, you would write it down like, it is now this date, and I'm so happy and grateful that I am, and then just let it flow. And so I'm going to give you a minute or two to write that down. And again, you can always do that on your own time as well, if you can't think of anything right now. But it's allowing yourself to kind of dream. Again, this is you manifesting your dream career. Allow yourself to dream about it and feel into the experience, and trust that it is yours, that your higher self and your intuition is guiding you there. So go ahead and write that down. And if anyone has any questions, let me know. Okay, so what would you recommend someone do who can't feel their emotions when they do this technique? Okay, so if you can't feel the emotions, I want you to imagine what it would feel, what it would be like to have those emotions. So maybe you don't feel it right now, but it's about practice. So it's getting yourself in the, okay, when I have this experience, right? How would I like to feel? And also connecting with things right now in your environment that help you feel that way. So if you want the emotion of, happiness or joy, asking yourself, what right now brings me that joy and happiness? Maybe it's playing with your dog. Maybe it's going to coffee with a friend and just talking about silly things. Maybe it's, going for a walk outside and noticing all of your surroundings. It's tapping into that more and more and into that frequency, because maybe right now what's happening that's not allowing you to feel those emotions is you're stuck in the belief systems that aren't serving you, the limiting beliefs, the cycle that you're seeing over and over again, the pattern that's being repeated that you don't want to experience. Because again, you're putting your focus and your attention on that and those emotions that feel uncomfortable, that you're almost indulging in them, that you're not allowing yourself to feel the other emotions that you could feel. And so it's getting that yourself into that practice and writing down, okay, what makes me feel that way? And even using that in your scripting technique, what are some things that you do that bring you that joy? Maybe it's like, oh, after work, I go and I do my walks and it feels so good. I feel so happy to go on my walks. I feel this sense of calmness, right? Writing that down. And the more you write it down, the more you'll realize you'll feel into the experience, because this is all about your belief systems. So the more you see it on paper and the more you write it down, the more you're going to feel into that. Thinking about even when you write down like your anxious thoughts and your anxious feelings, a lot of the time we feel into that experience more when we're writing it sometimes, until we realize, okay, wait, it's on the paper now. It doesn't need to be my reality right now. But it's really allowing yourself to switch your focus onto something that you do want. That's what's going to give you the feeling and the emotions. I hope that answers your question. And again, be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace if you're not feeling the emotions. It's all a practice. Everything that we're doing together is all things that you can take with you to help heal your programs, so you can go after what you want. So you can have the career that feels aligned with you. You can have anything you want. I want you to know this. Like, you can have anything you desire. It's just about your belief systems and what you want for yourself, because that's what's going to get you to your purpose, to your truth. And when you align with your truth, you don't need anything else. You don't need external conditions. Being happy and being content with where you are now, that you are your higher self, that you don't need all these external conditions, but they're just an added bonus to you stepping into your higher self, your truth, your purpose, and your North Node, which Alice has told you now, and you have this with you at all times. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. And I'm curious, how was that for everyone with the scripting technique? What came up for you? And then we'll just close out. Thank you. Yes, I hope that this was really transformative for everyone. Again, when I discovered the healing of programs, it really helped me to recognize, and you can do this at all times, like with certain beliefs that come up or certain programs or certain circumstances you see around you, you can use this to really change your belief systems and change the cycle. So you don't repeat the same cycle over and over again. You follow into your truth and the right path for you.
That was so wonderful, Emily. I love your journaling prompts. I loved everything that we workshopped today. It was so powerful. And so, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's session. This is the first one we've done together. And if you liked it, please let us know. We can always host more sessions to help you along your journey. Emily and I both have individual readings and ways to work with us. So we'll follow up in the email. I have my career astrology readings if you want to do a deep dive into potential career paths and businesses to start, really understand what is holding you back, as well as your gifts and your talents. And Emily, you want to share about your offering?
Yes. So I actually do a transformational program that helps you release emotions that no longer serve you. So when you do releasing of emotions through techniques, and you release certain programs, belief systems that don't serve you, and we do that through special techniques that allow you to release it through your subconscious mind, you're able to manifest more experiences. So I help you to align with your purpose and get yourself to manifest experiences that you want. Oh, and I also have a membership coming out. So yes, my membership is coming out. It used to be a group coaching program, but the membership will be launching next week. So I'm really excited for you guys to experience the membership because it is something that will help you to manifest with your higher self if you're really interested in that.
Yes, Emily's really great. I joined in on her program. That was about I think 2 months or 6 weeks. It was really wonderful. And so I really encourage everyone to stay in touch with us, whether it's through email or through Instagram. We'd love to know how your manifestations come through and the types of jobs and businesses that you start and come your way. We're really here to support you. And so yeah, stay in touch. We really would love to know.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We love you and we support you, and we hope that you feel so confident in the path that you're going towards.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the internet or sometime soon for a future workshop.
Yes, yes. Bye.